keep it wavy, keep it chill, hold tight. Tell me how you feel, keep it real, no lie. Light another herb, let it burn through the sky. Right. Sipping on sangria, playing that's no Allegra. Hoping moments like this go on forever. Catch me lounging pajamas in a sweater, especially when weather's looking sloppy. I turn into a homebody, cause it's the weekend. I don't feel like partying, I feel like sleeping. I don't work tomorrow, think I might just sleep until about noonish. I've been working hard, think I deserve to do this like once in a while. Cause this isn't my usual style. My mind is moving past the limit every minute to mile. I appreciate the time when I can sit on the couch, turn the music up and just zone out, cause it's a whole vibe. Gotta keep it wavy, keep it chill, hold tight. Tell me how you feel, keep it real, no lie. Light another herb, let it burn through the sky. Right, it's a whole vibe. Gotta keep it wavy, keep it chill, hold tight. Tell me how you feel, keep it real, no lie. Light another herb, let it burn through the sky. Right, it's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
Yeah, it's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
Yeah, it's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
I might turn my phone off when I get in this mood. Only turn it back on when I'm ordering food. And when my pizza gets delivered, going back to disconnected. If you call me and I answer, I'll hang up and blame reception. Got a question or a message, I encourage you to text it. I'll see it when I see it, I'll hit you back soon. But now I stay in tune with this lazy afternoon, like the Roots in 94, asking do you want more? Yeah, I want less of the drama and stress and interactions with people seeking my patience to test. You ain't cutting me a check, so I ain't giving you time to sacrifice my peace of mind. Cause it's a whole vibe. Gotta keep it wavy, keep it chill, hold tight. Tell me how you feel, keep it real, no lie. Light another herb, let it burn through the sky. Right, it's a whole vibe. Gotta keep it wavy, keep it chill, hold tight. Tell me how you feel, keep it real, no lie. Light another herb, let it burn through the sky. Right, it's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
Yeah, it's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
Yeah, it's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
And people can go back and watch it on your feed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Instagram. Right. See, now I know what you're thinking. They just started off a conversation. Yes, we did. The time is 7:59 a.m. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. You were listening to and watching Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We have a lot. Those claps are for you. But before we get into things, I want to introduce our great guest today. We have Miranda Rodriguez, Marketing for the Uninhibited.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm a little nervous to be here. It's weird to be on the other side of the microphone.
I bet.
Thank you for having me.
What you got there?
I have an iced lavender latte.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Good.
Looks really good. Looks really good. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday. It's a nice, beautiful day outside. The birds are chirping. The squirrels are squirrely. and we've got each other. We have a whole desk full of news today. We got coffee for you. We got movies, tacos, DoorDash, food pantry, all kind of stuff to talk about. Before we get into all that, I want to say that I hope you're all having a peaceful, beautiful, nice, relaxing, and calm week. I know we started off kind of crazy. As you recall, the city, we got the awards and all this, and I read the comments and you're typing it in all caps with poor grammar. I want us all to reflect, be calm, right? And take a chill pill. Let's go into the weekend on a nice, positive disposition. Let your hair down. Sip a glass of barefoot, bubbly rosé, maybe tonight after work. And let's relax and chill. Monica, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, Monica's doing good.
Yes,
That's right,
the
September
fresh month,
1st.
the first day of the month.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month.
That's what we should have started with.
Right? Okay, so our guest is Miranda Rodriguez. So you're doing good, Marketing for the Uninhibited. Great videos and everything on Instagram.
Thank you.
That I see. For those who are unfamiliar with you, where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised right here in Aurora.
Okay.
So I've lived here pretty much my whole life, and then I left for college. So I went to U of I in Champaign for 4 years, and then I came back. And then I stayed here for a couple years, and then I moved to Virginia for 4 years.
Okay.
And I worked there and lived at the beach with my best friends.
How terrible.
Oh, how terrible. Yeah, it was a hard life to ride bikes around the beach in your mid-20s. And then, my whole family's here, and I have a really big family. So I decided to move back here and start my family and raise my family here.
Good. Awesome. Now, Marketing for the Uninhibited, how did it start?
Oh, it started, I think it started like a lot of business ideas start for people so I did go to school for marketing.
Okay.
And the reason why I was attracted to marketing is because it gives everybody needs marketing, all types of industries, businesses, for-profits, nonprofits, like everything needs marketing, right? And so I like the idea that I would be able to work with a bunch of different people in different industries and kind of not be pigeonholed into one track.
Right.
And then I found out when I got out of college and I got a job that when you accept a marketing role with a company, you are in fact like confined to that industry.
Super
right?
pigeonholed.
Yeah,
right.
You're super pigeonholed. And so I did that for a few years after college. I'm trying to think about the math there, for like 7 years.
Okay.
I worked for a Fortune 500 company. I did sales and marketing. I worked for a one-of-one premier retirement community, which I really loved that job. And they had a really robust marketing department. So that's where I learned a lot about the ins and outs of all the facets of marketing, especially when it comes to running a department for a company.
Right.
And then when I moved back here, I did marketing. I was actually just working a restaurant job. I moved back. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was in between. And then that restaurant, it turns out, needed marketing help. And so I ended up interviewing and then moving to the back office for a marketing role there. And then while I was there, I realized, I could hire out everything. I could hire someone to build the website. I could hire someone to run the social. I could hire someone to write the emails. But what I couldn't hire was somebody to help me think through the big picture, the strategy, the brand cohesiveness, how are all these big pieces fitting together? And I was the only person in their marketing department, so I didn't have anyone else to brainstorm with. And then that's when I started to think like, oh, maybe there's an opportunity here for me to do this for companies, to come in and help them with the vision, the brand cohesiveness, that big picture. And I work with a lot of small business owners, like one-of-ones. They're just starting to grow their teams. And so it can be lonely too when you're working when you're starting your own business by yourself. And it can be hard to pull yourself out of the nitty-gritty of working in the business to visualize and conceptualize, where are we going long term? How are all these pieces working together? What are my big goals? And are the actions I'm taking today aligned with these big goals? And so that's when, and I just moved back from Virginia, so I had a conversation with my mom, and I said, Mom, if it's okay with you, I'd like to live here one more year so I can start this business. And in the same meeting where I demoted myself, I quit my marketing director role, and
The restaurant role?
Yeah, the
Okay.
restaurant role, but I pitched them to be my first client.
Oh.
All in one meeting. So it was a win-win for everyone. They still got the marketing help they needed, and I freed up some days in my schedule and time in my schedule to be able to pursue other clients.
What did you learn doing marketing for I assume that the Fortune 500 company in their industry was not restaurant.
No.
What did you learn hitting the ground running after college, the difference between marketing for the company and whatever their industry was versus the restaurant industry?
So the biggest thing there, so the restaurant was one of one. They're a family-owned company. They've been around for 30 years, and the Fortune 500 company had also been around for a very long time, but they were global, so they were all over. And I was in charge of a sales territory in Chicago, and it was hard. I came in, a lot of the other district managers worked their way up in that company, and I was hired in at my level. And my poor manager, Dan Moody, if you're out there, he was like 2 years away from retirement, and I came in just fresh out of college. This was like my first big girl job.
Right.
And I had a lot of great perks. Like I had a company car, I had a gas card, I had this $1 million territory. So essentially like my own little business. And the women in there had been working for this company. Some of the women that I was supposed to be like coaching, mentoring, training, they had been working for the company longer than I had been alive. So when I went into that territory, it was intimidating. I had a lot of learning and catching up to do. So I think the biggest thing I learned, comparatively, there was a budget, right? A budget differential there. You have a global company compared to like a mom and pop business. So that was a big difference to understand. Because they had the budget, they were able to provide all of these marketing materials.
Right.
And so much of it was done for you. And this was really before, I know this is going to like date myself, but social media wasn't as, like Facebook definitely was relevant, but not as there weren't as many options as there are right now, like Instagram and Pinterest and all these other things. So it was a lot of in-person grinding.
I remember life before Instagram.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Holy cow. What was that?
Yeah, you had to meet people in person.
Right?
And talk to them in person like I was doing.
Like, yo, what's your name?
Yeah. Sales trainings in their house,
Right.
like in their homes. And so there was no Zoom. So I like people. So I had the opportunity to interact with a lot of different people, but that was a tough job. I cried a lot.
Right. But to your point, they have the ability to do that. They got the resources to everything.
Right.
One of the things, and you mentioned pigeonholing, and it's a term that you use too, I want to talk about. The pigeonhole with corporate America is super real. Like, for those who are unfamiliar, when it comes to market, they have their logo with their specific color.
Yeah.
It must be bottom left of the whatever it is. And I think a lot of them, or that mentality of, since we have it, just do it this way. I think that's kind of tended to keep some companies back, despite the amount of money that they have. It's because their imagery is not aesthetically pleasing. It's whack. It just looks terrible.
I do think people, especially for these larger corporations, there is maybe a fear around innovating or changing the way you're doing things. But then there's also a lot of red tape, right? You have to like run it up the what's it called, the flagpole, and you have to talk to, you can't just make a decision. So now when I work with business owners, like they're the primary decision makers.
Right.
That's who I work with. So if we want to change something, they have the power to say, yes, let's change it and let's implement that, or no, I don't want to. And so I think that's where you get a lot of that hesitancy to rebrand or to refresh the brand. And then the other part is, when you're that big, you have all eyes on you, you're welcoming all of these unsolicited opinions too, right? So when you do rebrand, a lot of people are going to have things to say about it. And this is the same when you, right now, if you are a small business owner and you have a reel that goes viral, or you have all of a sudden, one of my clients I met with yesterday, all of a sudden she had a reel that went viral and now she has 10,000 followers and she's getting people, can I swear on here? I was going to say shit talking on the.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it. But, and in her DMs and in the comments, like just trolling her. And so you're going to have that at any level, but when you're a corporation, especially like globally, there's just going to be so much more that you have to take into consideration.
Right. So you got to nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
Good morning to everyone. The time is 8:10 a.m. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Yeah, I know. This is a good episode. So real quick, I want to say hello to Valerie, Josue Pais, Sherry Winchester Schultz, Riverfront Playhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning to you. Jessica Paloma, Chicas Tacos, good morning to you as well. Norma Peterson, J.L. Harris, and my dear friend Valerie, Joe Jackson. I mean, look at all these stars. Maria Chirito, Josue said MySpace. Taking it back.
Yeah, MySpace.
Taking it back. All right, so you use a term called brand cohesiveness. It sounds straightforward, but please explain a little bit more. Let's unpack that. What is that?
Is it straightforward? Yeah. Brand cohesiveness is when all of the facets of your brand work together. And so that can be the visual components, like the aesthetics you're talking about in terms of the logos, the color schemes, the fonts you're using, right? But then it also goes deeper than that, and that now we're talking about the story that you're telling behind those things. So like standing alone, your logo doesn't mean anything. And I think this is something small business owners, and I got caught up on this in the beginning, but we tend to put a lot of emphasis on like, I need the logo, I need a name for the business, I need that business card, right? I'm not legitimate until I have these things. But really what legitimizes the business is, one, the service you're providing and to your clientele and the quality of that service, and then two, the story that you're telling behind that logo. And so really, I wish if there's one thing I could tell people who are just starting out, I would say like, don't spend so much time on the name of the business and the logo. Just pick something and run with it. You can change those things later. Like if you go and you look at companies like Nike and Apple, things that are household names now, they all had earlier versions of their logos, of their names even sometimes. And so don't put so much emphasis, time, money, energy on those aspects of the brand, but really think about the story you're telling, the service you're providing, the customers you want to work with, how can you help them? And then really brand cohesiveness, especially now, as so much of our businesses are online, is saying like, if I interact with your business on social media, on Instagram, is that going to give me, the consumer, the same feeling as when I interact with you in person, right? So you want to make sure that the customer experience on Instagram, on your website, when they're meeting you in person, when they actually experience the product or service that you offer, you want to make sure that all of the feelings that the customers are getting are cohesive across that platform, like that they're really getting to know you. So we've all had the experience before where you interact with someone, maybe, and it can go both ways, right? Maybe you're interacting with them on social media and you really love what you see and you love like what they're putting out, and then you go visit their shop, or you go, let's say you go and you get a coffee there and you're like, oh, well, this is not at all what I thought it would be, right? It's kind of a letdown. So there's a disconnect there. And when that disconnect happens, you have missed an opportunity to build trust with your audience. And so that's what's happening. So much of marketing is the know, like, trust, like getting to know you, getting to like you, and learning to trust you before they pay you. And so that trust component is really important. And it can also go the other way, right? Like maybe you have a lackluster social media. Maybe that's not your thing. But when they meet you in person, they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I've had that opportunity too, where I've worked with clients who on their social media, I even had one woman in her Instagram bio, it said like woman-owned business. And I scrolled through her entire feed and there was not a photo of the woman who owned the business. And that's a huge missed opportunity, especially if you're going to use that to market your business, you had to show us people want to see other people.
Right.
People recognize people. People want to interact with people. Brands aren't cool. People are like
Right.
that. That's how we make those connections. We're making the connections with the human behind the business. And I find a lot of times small business owners, for several reasons, will hide behind their logos, or they'll hide behind the business name because they don't want to be the face of the business right now. But if it's just you and your business, then right now you do have to be the face. Somebody
Right.
has to be there to connect with those customers. And it doesn't have to be all the time. You don't have to be, you don't have to be on all the time. You don't have to be recording every aspect of your life and sharing it with your audience, but you do have to have those moments where you're making those personal connections.
Yeah, and I think it's also a little bit of a of knowing when stepping out of your comfort zone may be helpful for your business. And also too, just like you said, your logo can be the coolest thing in the world. If your business says you're open at 6 a.m.
Correct.
and they go there and you're closed, no matter how cool it is or how many Instagram, none of that is going to be as valuable as being on time with good service and everything like that.
Consistency. Consistency is big, and I think it gets a bad rep sometimes in the online marketing world, the creative world, because sometimes consistency can kill creativity. If you are just showing up and just posting something on social media just for the sake of like, well, it's Tuesday and I have to post something, then that's where consistency can start to kill your creativity. But really, consistency means showing up consistently, whatever that looks like for you. It doesn't,
Absolutely.
right? It doesn't have to be like posting 3 days a week. Like, honestly, your audience isn't going to know most of the time because the algorithm shakes up all the posts anyway, so they're not seeing it in chronological order. They'll see it if they look at your feed. But it's about being consistent with your consumers. And so how can they expect consistency from you? And if you have a brick and mortar, one of the most important things is making sure that your hours are up to date.
Absolutely.
And that you're open when you say you're going to be open. And otherwise, you're giving them a big heads up, right?
Right.
And even then, and we had an experience, my family and I, with it was a local business and they were new, and 3 times we tried to go, and 3 times we checked Google, and 3 times Google said they were open, and 3 times we went there and they were closed. And that was the 3rd and final time that I tried to go there.
What was the name of the business?
I will not tell you.
Come on.
I'll tell you off air.
All right, word up. Y'all might hear it anyway.
I won't put anyone on blast. No, we won't put them on blast. But
no, it's all good. I mean, hey, look, Baba's famous steak and lemonade down there on Lake Street, Northgate. I mean, we use them for example. I mean, it says you're gonna get fries with your order, right?
Yeah.
No fries come with your order. Oh, that's the special joint. I don't care if there's a button at the bottom that says order fries.
Yeah.
The title and description and the little font says fries come with it.
Right.
So I should get double fries if anything, but it's just small stuff. Like you have to work on the services that you have, not how pretty the store is.
Correct.
What are the services? What are you trying to do and accomplish?
Because people remember how you made them feel.
Right.
Less than they may appreciate the aesthetics of your brick and mortar. Like, that is an important piece of this. But really what they're going to walk away with, what they're going to tell their friends about, is how you treated them in that store, good or bad.
Right.
Especially if it's bad, right? Like, then people are more willing to tell people about that bad experience. And
right.
So I think paying attention to those things, and that brings up another really important point, which is thinking through the customer journey and really understanding from your customer's perspective, how will they experience what I'm offering? And even if you physically go to your website and you buy something from yourself, just so you understand the flow of the shopping experience, right? And then on a bigger picture, what I do with clients is walk them through, and you can call it a sales funnel, customer journey, but really walk them through the whole process. Like, okay, if someone finds out about me today on Good Morning Aurora, right, what are they going to do next? And part of that is on me. At the end of this, or whenever I have the opportunity, I will lead them.
Right.
Like, you'll hear me direct people, and the next, like, okay, if you like what you heard today, you can find me on Instagram, you can listen to my podcast, right? Those are the next 2 steps in my customer's journey. And then from there, if they go to Instagram and then they like that, most of the time they will then go to my podcast. And then from the podcast, they're like, oh, okay, I can get down with this. Like, let me see what the offers are. And then they'll go check out the website. And then maybe they'll submit an inquiry, or maybe they're just going to send me a DM on Instagram, right? And so it's really, for all the business owners listening, thinking through your customer's next step. And if you don't know what that next step is, if you don't know where you want them to go after that interaction, they don't know.
That's a good point.
And you need to make that as easy as possible for them and spell it out. And so it's like, to the point about the fries, it's thinking through, like, okay, if I was on this menu, would this be confusing?
Right.
If I was reading this as a new customer? Because so many of us, we're so deeply ingrained in our businesses that we take the knowledge that we have of the business for granted, and are unable to like poke holes in our own stuff. Exactly. And so that's where an outside set of eyes, or even having your friend do it, like, hey, could you run through my checkout and just see if that makes sense?
Right.
Or walk through my store. Do you have enough room? If there were other people in here, like really thinking through the customer's experience and keeping that at the forefront of what you do.
The time is 8:21 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Our guest today is Miranda Rodriguez, Marketing for the Uninhibited. Monica, can you take me to a brief commercial? Got some of that local stuff.
Perfect.
To tell these great people about. And with that being said, if we shout you out on the local news now, you better be. If I tell the people to go to your shop, you better be open. If I tell them that you're open at 4 o'clock,
that's right,
and they get there, you're closed.
That's right.
Hey, we'll give you a opposite shout out, an out shout. All right, Ryan Avenue 1 Flores, Aurora Cannabis Club. Good morning. Jen Mendoza, good morning to you. Sherry Winchester Schultz says consistency is crucial.
Yeah.
Great point. Thank you very much. Jennifer Ryan Maiden and Katina Alexa. Good morning. Okay, check this out for all of you taco lovers out there. Taco Tuesday Crawl is coming back. Marie Wilkinson's Food Pantry put this on last year. Monica went. She said it was a great time. Tickets are $25. It's the early bird special, or regular price is $30. The fee includes your Taco Crawl t-shirt and 1 taco at each participating restaurant. Now, last year there were 8, I believe, participating restaurants. Yeah. This will be September 20th. 2 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. We have the flyer, which will be hanging up in our front window at the studio with a QR code that you can use. The month of September, Marie Wilkinson's Food Pantry celebrates Hunger Action and Hispanic Heritage Month. We are dedicated to help feed everyone in need. For donations or sponsorship opportunities, email at relations@mwfoodpantry.org. Okay. Victoria Hyla Maldonado has her new newsletter out, issue 9, volume 3, with the kids going back to school. Work has ramped up and inspiration has struck. Lots of work has been done on several projects, as you'll get to see in these pages. I'll see them. You can too with the digital form. I got to send you that. That reminds me. I'll send that to you guys so that you can read this too. But anyway, we did a lot of good books. Pharmacy Farm Stand, Tempest the Turtle, Tears for the Butterfly, Rooted Hearts. Love these titles. Shouts out to Evelyn Mendoza as well. Author Spots gets a shout out as well. And then the Spots on the Fox shop too. Get ready for the Alpha course starting at New Way Church as well. Here's some upcoming events. September 7th through November 16th, Alpha is launching at a New Way. The 12-week course meets Wednesdays at Paulie's Pub and Grill in Aurora. Everyone is welcome to have dinner, learn a little, and talk about it with friends in a safe environment. September 23rd will be the giving message at the church. October 8th is story time with Bartleby the Brave and Donstery Doc at the Pharmacy Farm Stand, Sugar Grove. October 13th is Women's Empowerment, Thriving Through the Storms of Life, a seminar in Lamont, Illinois, with networking, books, wine tasting, charcuterie, sweets, coffee, self-defense, life coaching, discussion, and more. What? The men can't go? Damn, it's the women's joint. Can y'all make a co-ed?
Yeah.
Self-defense, coffee, and sweets? Sounds like my kind of thing. All right, and then last but not least, the list is out for First Fridays coming up tomorrow. It is a long list. I'm not going to read it all to you. I'm just going to read some of the highlights. The Hip Hop Golden Art Show at Cotton Sea Creative Exchange will feature art and music by Josue Pais, also known as DJ Venom. He owns Harry B's Dog Parlor, located just west of downtown. The MC on the microphone will be some guy. What's his name? Mr. C? Some weirdo with glasses. Go there, 6 o'clock p.m. It's going to be going down. You will love the show. Food Truck Court returns from 5 to 9 p.m. at Water Street Square across from City Hall with Strawberries Barbecue, Holy Pierogi, hot... scratch it. We have a thing. When we mess up on the show, we take a sip.
Oh.
Sip it up, sip it up. Oh, y'all, sip it up, sip it up,
Yes.
sip it up. Let's try that again. The word was run. Home Run, Hot Dogs and Lemonade, Harvey's Firebox, and Charity Blooms selling plants. Good stuff. Also at Good News Barbershop, 52 West Downer Place, they'll be open with Art Collision, a night of art, coffee, and tunes featuring Raul Rodea, Dapper Brews, Jason Verdin, and DJ KRLS1 from 7 to 10 p.m. The time is 8:26 a.m. Where are you going to be for First Friday?
I'm going to be... So the downtown Aurora Arts Mixer, my mom is a photographer, so she's showcasing some of her photos so they'll be at the Aurora Public Library. So I'll probably start there or end there and then just make my way around. I do want to go to the Cotton Seed Exchange though.
Yeah, come through.
Yeah, that sounds really fun.
All right. Yeah, so it says Aurora Public Art, Santori branch.
Yeah, maybe it's Aurora Public Art.
Okay.
Maybe it's Aurora Public Art. Maybe it's not DAM this time.
Downtown Aurora Arts Mixer.
Yeah,
Right.
so they do some, but maybe this time it's Aurora Public Art. So whatever's at the Santori Library.
Yeah, come to the show.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we should hang out more.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be a really good show. So we are going, as I mentioned, people are going to be able to find out from you where to contact and how to find you on social media. But real quick, in your experience, what are the top 3 mistakes? We talked about branding and the emphasis on the logo, but what are the top 3 mistakes that businesses make, whether they're brick or mortar or starting out? Is there on what you've seen, are businesses doing like X repeatedly? What is that X? What are they doing?
I would say as a consumer and then as a marketing strategist, I am always hyper aware of how people are marketing, how they're showing up. So for example, we went to Solemn Oath Brewery on Friday and there was a food truck there. And so one of the first things I did was I found this food truck on Instagram because I wanted to see what kind of food they had, right? And they had beautiful curated photos of their food, not even of the truck itself, just the food. And there were like a lot of graphics that maybe they made in Canva or something. But there wasn't any photos really of the customer experience. Like I wanted to see customers in line at the food truck. What does the food truck look like? Who's enjoying this food? Are they, like what type of food?
We talked about that.
Yeah.
We talked about that. I had to take a moment.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Monica went to this thing. At Wabanzi Community College, something like that. Gave it a camera. Smiles and happiness.
Yeah.
I don't care what's going on. Smiles and happiness. Whoever's smiling and happy, kids with that's what you want.
Right. People want to see the experience. And especially right now, they want to see like behind the scenes. Show me the process. Like if you're a service-based business owner, what does your process look like? As a consumer, what's it going to look like for me to go? Because I also, so like the anxiety in me and the control in me, I wanted to know what the food truck looked like so that when I got there, I could find the food truck that I wanted to go to. Because that just, you know, you go into a new place and you're like searching around and asking. And so that was kind of a bummer, you know, and we went and we enjoyed the food. And I didn't even share the photos that I took, but so things like that, like really, again, thinking through your customer's experience and like, are you sharing that? People want to see people. So are there enough people in your marketing, whether it's you, whether it's your customers with permission or you're not showing their full face, you know, whatever that is. And then the other thing I would say is not experimenting faster. I think people get really scared, especially when it comes to marketing. They get stuck in the research phase. They're afraid that they're going to be canceled or that someone is gonna, you know, for whatever, it's gonna flop, and now they just put it all out there and it flopped, and that's part of business, right? And so the faster that you can try something new and see whether or not your audience responds to it, the faster you can move forward. But so many people just get stuck in just what they've been doing.
Right.
And if you're not seeing the results, and this is where that's a problem. A lot of people just keep doing what they've been doing, but they don't like the results that they've been getting. And so in order to change that, right, you need to do something different. And that can just be like experimenting with reels. Like I did an experiment last week. So I used to think, and I think a lot of us have this, especially if you grew up in the corporate professional worlds, like you look a certain way, you dress a certain way, you talk a certain way to attract a certain type of clientele, or maybe it's like an income level you're working after, right? But as an entrepreneur, you get to flip all of that on its head and you get to decide how you show up. And so I was like, okay, it was a test for myself. Like, can I show up on Reels? And because it doesn't, whether I'm in my pajamas or whether I'm like showered with makeup on, it doesn't change what I know about marketing and how I can help my customers. And so I did. I had just woke up and I like, all right, we're gonna do it. And I recorded a reel in my pajamas, and I don't even remember right now what I was talking about exactly, but it's my third highest performing reel, you know. And so it is so much less about appearances and so much more, again, to that like showing up consistently and how you make them feel. And so an exercise I do with my clients is called it's called the brand pillars exercise, where
brand pillars.
Yeah, I know I'm talking so fast.
No, go ahead. No, it's
the caffeine and the nerves, but also I just get really excited about this stuff. And so it's called a brand pillars exercise, and brand pillars are 3 to 4 words that you can use to describe your brand, right? So for me, marketing that's simple, doable, and fun. Like I like to keep things simple. I really like to keep them doable because I work with business owners and we all know they're very busy. They wear a lot of hats. And then fun, because if you're not having fun with your marketing to some degree, right, your clients can feel that. Your audience feels that energy. Energy is conveyed, emotion is conveyed. So you really want to pay attention to those things. And so the brand pillar exercise is really important for that reason, because it helps people, again, develop that consistency and then to like lean on those pillars and that's another way to reinforce your brand with your customers. Yeah. And so you can sprinkle that into your messaging. You can sprinkle it into your captions. You can use it as a tagline. You can put it on your website. You can use it in your elevator pitch, you know, and just kind of, I literally like to think of just sprinkling the words in, like anytime you're writing something.
It's a good term, ain't it?
Yeah.
Just sprinkle in it, you know. Poof.
Yeah.
Put a little dust in there for you. The time is 8:33. Matt Hansen is here. Good morning to you, Matt. Good to see you, dear brother. Josue Pais reiterates the first Friday show at the Cotton Seed. Norma Peterson, Tracy Duran, good morning to you. Maria Vasquez, Aisha Saxon. Maria says, happy Thursday. We appreciate that. The time is 8:33. Monica, would you be so kind to take us to a commercial, give us some of the local headlines? And if you could, there is a home ownership and affordability workshop, I believe is the last piece of news. Could you start there?
Let me find it. Where's Fernando?
No.
I don't think I have it then.
Don't have it? Okay, it's all good. I'll tell him again.
Oh wait, I do have it.
See? See that? I right?
Alrighty. Good morning, Aurora. Here are your local headlines. Real news, real people, real stories, 100% Aurora. Don't forget to please subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all of our content. There you can also watch all of our interviews and receive notifications when we go live. The Neighbor Project, in conjunction with Inland Bank, will be holding a series of home ownership and affordability workshops in person at the Aurora Financial Empowerment Center, located at 712 South River Street. Discover the path to home ownership with this free dual workshop class designed to introduce you to the fundamentals of the process. Learn about credit, loan requirements, and much more. The dates are as follows. Tuesday, September 13th, September 27th, Wednesday, October 12th, and October 26th, November 9th, and November 16th. See the flyer for more details. To register, please contact Jaria at 331-300-3566 or by emailing her at jaria@neighborproject.us. Saturday, September 25th from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m., there will be a Kane County Expungement Clinic hosted by the Office of the Kane County State's Attorney and the Kane County Circuit Clerk. Registration is required. This will take place at Gail Borden Public Library in Elgin. Staff from the Circuit Clerk's office will be on hand to answer questions and for assistance. For more information, you can contact the Office of the Circuit Clerk at the email and phone number listed on the flyer. Also, on October 16th, Marie Wilkinson is hosting their Fill the Bowls event at Gaslight Manor. This will be from 1 to 4 p.m. and will be a lot of fun. Raffles, a wine pool, live music, and great company. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Marie Wilkinson's website.
Monica, thank you very much for that fantastic local news. The time is 8:36 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Matt Hansen, First State Representative, District 83, says, good morning. Happy September. Matt, you know, we got to get together again, man. We got to go to St. George's Club. Only the cool kids hang out there. Matt, I'll hit you up one of these days and see if you got some time to hang out with your boy. Gloria Gerardo says, good morning to you, Aurora. Hope you have a nice day, and it's Thursday morning. I have a blessed day today. Amen. Well, thank you for telling us that, and thank you for giving us a day of blessing as well. Maria Vasquez, I think I said hi to you already, Maria Vasquez. If I did not, hi to you again. And Tracy Duran. Get to know Tracy Duran and the two Instagram pages she has, Leland Aurora Hotel and Discovering Aurora on Instagram. She always shows interesting stuff about our fantastic city, like cool buildings that you didn't know about, and Elks Lodge that's now a apartment complex, and so many cool things. Ghost stories, Paul Egan, crime, true murder in history, Al Capone, John F. Kennedy, all of it. Really cool stuff. Mm-hmm. Damn, Monica, was that your stomach growling? Oh, shit. See, that's how dedicated we are. Yeah. We go hungry for y'all. Yeah. All right. All right. Now, here's where the conversation gets colorful.
Okay.
I have noticed here in Aurora, I want to piggyback on an earlier conversation that you and I had, and this is about creativity. You spoke about creativity in regards to marketing. That was part of the conversation about consistency, trying new things. You're not happy with the result, be a little creative and try something different. However, I have felt like, and I'm not going to put the town down, I'm just going to highlight what I've noticed.
Do a little bit.
Yeah, you know. It's not going to be constructive criticism.
Yes.
I have felt like there has been a gulf of creativity in Aurora for a little bit. And not that there's not creative people. It's just that the creativity was not, you know, and there's many factors for that. In the recent past, we have 2 years of a pandemic. We've also had, you know, a downtown in a city which has needed economic development, not reels. But But with all that being said, what is your assessment? What's your checkup of the Aurora scene? How do you feel about it? Is it creative? I mean, I think it is, but could it be doing more? Where are the spots where you see some light should be shown over there? We should do a little bit here. Maybe those within the city could help out with these particular things. What's your assessment?
Well, first and foremost, I don't know how qualified I am to make that assessment just because I'm not as involved as I once was in the city. But I mean, I can speak to, I guess my first question would be like, what would you like to see? Like, what do you feel is lacking? What would your expectations be for the art scene? Because I like what Cottonseed is doing for this First Fridays. I think there's a musical element that's missing. So we have the venue, and that's great that the venue is there, but I would like to see I remember when I feel like such a old lady sometimes when I was younger, but you used to go to like hip hop shows and stuff, and they used to be in a basement somewhere or in a warehouse somewhere, and it was
raves.
Fun. And raves. And it was part of the culture, right? And I feel like those underground things, there's a real heartbeat there, and that kind of, from that comes a lot of other things. So I feel like a lot of the economic development has been great as someone who's in their mid-30s, to shop and dine and all of that. But what about the younger kids? I think about, I have 3 younger siblings. And I think about when they come home from Chicago, where are they going to hang out? What are they going to do?
Right.
And where's that community and culture and hangout for them? And not necessarily, I'm talking about the people who come home from college for that, or the people who are still living here, in there between after high school and before you're starting your own family or career even, where are you hanging out?
Right.
And what is the attraction for them? And I guess either I'm just too old to know what's going on, or I really wonder, is there space for them?
You touched on something. We are the scene.
Mm-hmm.
The scene here is fledgling.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right.
Yeah,
we ain't got no scene.
Right.
We don't have a scene. That's
Right.
the thing. It's see, we have the extremes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have either nothing at all or River Edge Park.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's not a happy medium. There
Right.
is there, and I feel like we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps maybe the next 5 or 10 years, but I agree with you. We've got the music venue, but even it has its own flavor and clientele.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that down though. A musical element.
Yeah, I do feel like in the scene. I don't know if you remember Riley's Rock House.
No, never heard of it.
So do you know where Jalisco's is on Lake Street?
Oh yeah.
So that used to be a place called Riley's Rock House, and they used to have punk shows there.
It used to be okay. Maybe that was before I knew it when it was a club called Cazadores.
Oh, was that there too? Yeah.
It was a club called Cazadores before Jalisco's.
That.
Right. So Riley's Rock House was before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the, so I just remember going to those shows there too, and there were other places where you could go see those shows. I even think one of the churches, you used to be able to see shows in the basement or something, and so I just think about that. But I don't have kids that age. I am not that age, so maybe we're just missing something.
Right. Okay.
But what about you? What do you think?
I agree that the musical element and the scene could be better, but I think that there should be. I like where downtown is heading, and the Alley Art Festival I took some pics, and I'll be posting those later on today, kind of late, but I noticed that now there's less of a hesitancy, it seems, for the streets to be able to be used for stuff. For example, I mean, it was that Downer? Yeah, Downer. It was Downer that Alley Art was on. Downer was blocked. That doesn't really happen unless it's the parade or something.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
So
nice.
the ability to shut it down, and then they filled it up.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of stuff. I guess it's less of a critique than it is just a wish list. You know, we both love the city.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see it do good, but the city needs to continue to market itself with great acts and great things like that.
Yeah. And I think the city, all I remember growing up was like the Downtown Alive. Remember that? They would like close off all the downtown. It was Downer too, I think. They would close off and they would have vendors and music, and that was like once a week in the summertime.
I wasn't around for that. I don't think I was around for that.
That was fun. But now, so now we have First Fridays, which is great. And I like to see how people are like expanding their First Friday experience and including more of the music and like bringing in local artists. And I mean, art has always been a part of it, but like the DJs and stuff like that. And I didn't know the owner of Harry Beast Dog Parlor was a DJ. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that place.
Yeah.
My dog is terrified of that place for some reason, but
He doesn't like the Harry Beast?
no, he
Oh,
does not.
see? That's your customer service dog. What? Woof, woof.
Everyone else's dog loves that place, and they pose so nicely in their photos with their backdrop, and I really want
Josue,
Odin.
what you doing with the dogs in there?
Odin is my dog is just a baby. He's just a big scaredy cat.
I wanted to read something real quick. Well, two things. Michael Rayford is here. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, all. Today is the first day of Life Insurance Awareness Month. What is your economic value to your family? Michael Rayford, reader, how money works. Thank you very much for that, sir. Reach out to Michael Rayford. He used to work for PBS. Tracy Duran says, we used to have quite a few clubs back in the 70s and 80s. Jalisco's used to be Malo's Rock and Roll Studio too. They had some awesome bands back then. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, so I feel like that, so there's the venue and there's River's Edge.
Yeah.
But where's the in between?
Right.
Like that, and that's where I feel like where's the local stuff? Where, and like the local art scene outside of First Fridays.
Yo, Josue. I'll call you later. Love Harry Beast and staff. My dog doesn't smile either. See, it's just the dogs now.
My dog will not even go in there.
The time is 8:46. Where can people find you, and how does somebody who has how does somebody with 1 star on Yelp get in touch with you to get their life together?
Yeah, 1 star on Yelp. I don't know. You may need to question some of your choices, but so
might need prayer.
Yes. My name is Miranda Rodriguez, and I'm a marketing strategist. So I'm a coach and consultant for product-based business owners and specialty service providers. You can learn more at marketinguninhibited.com. I also have my own podcast. So if you are interested in marketing tips, it's a very personal podcast too. So a lot of my own personal stories and experiences. I also have client interviews on there if you're curious about my process and what it's like to work together. That is called the Marketing for the Uninhibited podcast, and you can find that wherever you subscribe to podcasts. And then if you want to send me a message about that 1 star review, or you have any other questions, you can find me at Marketing Uninhibited on Instagram, and you can send me a message there. Okay. I love to chat in the DMs, help people out. I get really passionate, as you can tell, about this stuff, and so I'm always happy to answer questions in the DMs.
All right. Yeah, as I told you before, we used to follow you when we had the escape room.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was really cool. That's where I learned a lot of that's where I learned marketing on my own. Because awesome. I was working in corporate America, then a friend hired me, and then all of that was under my bailiwick of duties, and it was very different. There was the perk was there was nobody to go. I don't have to ask Bill if it's okay if we had a budget to spend and just do it. If it makes us look good, run with it. We had our logo and everything like that, so we were able to, or I was able to, pick the best standard and then go with that. See what works, see what responses it gets. But key for us, because it was an escape room, and I'm glad you brought that up with the food version that you used, talking about solemn oath, was, our initial owner, he thought that since the store looked nice, no. You got 8 kids all happy because they won.
Yes.
Hit the kid, damn the store.
Right.
Put the kids on there.
Right.
Mom with the...
Yes.
Even when people lost, they were happy.
Yes.
Almost made that. That you can't,
Right. And that's that emotional piece of marketing that people leave out, like that convey the emotional return. Like, what are yes, they bought this product from you, but what was their experience?
Right.
And I think, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No,
you
go ahead.
so.
No, you were. No, I was about to write.
So that emotional component, that emotional piece is really what is selling. And that's going back earlier to when I was talking about the story behind the brand. That is the story, is the people behind it. And so speaking to those elements are what people are going to connect to in your posts and your marketing, like those emotional components. And so there's a big difference from saying like someone bought something from you, but taking that one step further, like, why did they buy it? What did they do with it when they got home? How did it change their life? And you can think about, if you're thinking like, well, I only sell candles, like how does a candle change someone's life? But I really want you to think about their experience. Like, why are people buying candles? Like, where are they going to put that in their house? You know, and getting really specific and really granular with those moments, and then speaking to those in your marketing and see how that changes how people interact.
Right. Yeah. I'm always very conscious of I don't just support anybody or anything.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to see. So I'm able to give a little leeway for certain things based on perhaps the goals of the business or what I've seen with the business over time. Because people they'll leave you crazy comments, but if you deviate from what people have expected for so long, they'll let you know. Which can be helpful if that kind of criticism is good. Is that the kind of criticism feedback that you provide to your clients as well? Like, hey, I don't know if putting fried rabbit on the menu is going to work this week. Is that?
I usually that's where the coaching part of it comes in, where it's like, okay, why do you think putting fried rabbit would be a good idea on the menu this week? What is telling you about that? So I do take a multifaceted approach where I like to, one thing I do is help business owners really tap back into their own intuition. A lot of us get caught up in that comparison cycle where we're doing something because someone along the way told us we should, or we're striving for a goal because that's what, someone in the industry has set that as a benchmark. And so it's really about letting those preconceived notions go and thinking like, okay, yes, sure, those may be true, but how do you want to run your business?
Right.
What are your goals? And that's where the intuition comes in. And then I also do data tracking with clients. And so that's where we figure out like, okay, your gut told you to put fried rabbit on the menu. We're going to try it, and we're going to see what the data says about it. Like, does the data support that decision moving forward? And that speaks to that experimental piece. Like, yeah, try it, go for it. And if you're going to do it, do it.
Right.
Don't half-ass it. Don't.
Amen.
Like, yeah, go for it. And then I just wanted to say, I know there are a lot of brick and mortars here too listening. Ask for those reviews, ask for that feedback. And I feel like people, they shy away from that because they're not sure what they're going to say, but you will be pleasantly surprised most of the time about how nice people are. And then when you get those reviews, or if you have those reviews now, go back and see what words are popping out. How do people describe their experience with you in their own words? And then take their words and infuse it into your marketing messaging. Let them do the selling for you, because it's their experience that you're trying to convey in the first place to compel more people to buy. And I just want to give one shout out. So we last year had some trees trimmed, and this year we're going to do the same. And Doug Tree Service is who we work with. So shout out to Carlos at Doug Tree Service. And last year, they came, they were great. So I just went outside afterwards to give them the check. And I was just telling him, like, thank you so much. You did a great job. They cleaned up everything. They were so pleasant to work with. And he was like, if you really liked your experience today, can you leave us a review on Google? And I was like, hell yes, I will.
Yeah.
Good, and I, like, my little marketing coaching heart was so proud, like, yes, good job, and so many people that's all it took was 10 seconds. If you liked it, can you leave us a review on Google? And it's just that reinforcing, like, thank you for telling me, but can you tell everyone else what you thought of this experience? And so don't be afraid to ask and reinforce it. Do it at checkout. Put it on your receipts. Send it in a follow-up email. Make it as easy as possible for people to leave that review, but also remind them to do that. And if you're a consumer listening and you had a good experience, take the 5 minutes and go to Google or go to Facebook or share about that person or that business on social media and let people know about your experience. That goes a long way.
Right. The time is 8:55. Great way to land the plane.
Thank you.
That was good.
Thank you. Smooth.
That was, man, no turbulence. Jen Ingram. Hi, friends. Hello to you, Jen Ingram, as well. Christina Cash is here. She says, hey there, yours was first podcast I was ever on.
Oh, yeah, we did that in the Wickwood basement.
Yeah, she's awesome. Christina Cash is cool.
Yeah, she's great.
She's a person, now you want to talk about marketing, and she's a person, I sat right next to her at the census event, if you remember Christina Cash, that was at the Paramount Theater in the little ballroom. She would sit right next to each other, and she marketed. Yeah. We just chopped it. Yeah. It was like 4 minutes of just like, yo, I'm Christina Cash, Keller Williams. I think Keller Williams, right?
I think she was.
Yeah, KW Realty, boom, boom, boom. Like, oh, okay. And it stuck with me ever since.
Yeah, she's amazing. She was one of my early guests on the podcast, and that's when we were doing cocktails I was telling you about earlier in the Wickwood House basement.
All right, so the time is 8:56. Before we go, one more thing. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a few of these. Can you zoom in on this? We've got a few of these Java Plus gift certificates here. Present this card at the counter and redeem for a free 16-ounce hot coffee or tea. So we will be giving these away. We've got some great trivia questions. We'll start tomorrow. You win the trivia question. You come here to the studio. You can take a selfie in our fantastic... Better than CNN, boy, let me tell you. You can take a selfie here in our fantastic studio, and then you can go to Java Plus with this on us. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Tomorrow's First Friday. I'm glad we got to meet and chop it up.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yep, we got more work to do.
Yes.
The show ends on a positive note.
Yep.
What is your message today for the listener?
My message today for the listener is if you have an idea, if you have, speaking to that intuitive feeling, if you've got a gut feeling about something that you've been wanting to try, something you want to launch, this is your sign to do it, to start taking action today, even just one small baby step, whatever that goal is, whether it's a personal goal, financial goal, a fitness goal, a business goal. Today's your day to take that first step towards achieving that goal, because big goals are achieved with small steps.
Good
one step at a time.
Good. That's a good message. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you guys all have a fantastic day. This was a great show and a great episode. Tune in to the show tomorrow. We've got something special for you. And as mentioned, the week of the 12th, Good Morning Aurora goes to a new schedule with Buenos Dias Aurora. Good Morning Aurora will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Buenos Dias Aurora will pick up an extra day and switch. So Buenos Dias Aurora will be Tuesday and Thursday. A full week of news for you. Have a fantastic day and come to the Hip Hop Show tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Cotton Seed Creative Exchange, 64 South River Street. Take care of yourself and each other.